is my petition to ensure that all single sex schools are scrapped. And the earlier we do that, the better for us. And if you don't think so, hear me out. Hear me out. I'm headed somewhere. Hi guys, welcome back to Manny's YouTube channel. And as we know, I'm Manny and this is my YouTube channel. And on today's video, I'm going to be gisting you people as to why I think that single sex schools should be scrapped. I don't know what it is like in boys' schools. I can only speak for myself and what girls' schools are like because I went to a girls' school for 6 years of my life, and my junior school is different from my senior school. And the experiences were somewhat the same, but there were a little bit of differences. Do you think it's possible for somebody that is saved to be queer or to be in the alphabet community? Sometimes you hear these people and then they tell you, oh, I am in the LGBTQ community, and they are probably preachers, they are ministers in whatever churches that they attend. Some guys even have weddings, same-sex marriages in a church. As much as the Bible standards are against these things, I believe that it is possible that these guys do these things and they can probably even be speaking in tongues. It's possible that these guys do these things or practice these things and they know scriptures, they can quote scriptures and even apply it in context. But the flesh wants what the flesh wants. And this is why whenever I speak to people about the people in the alphabet community, I'm always saying that approach these people with love. Even Christ, when he's talking to us, and this scripture in James that tells us that we should love our brethren, we should be accepting of our brethren, and no matter what happens, in as much as we love and we accept them, we should never entice the sin. And this same way Christ loves us, he loves us, nothing can separate us from his love, but he hates the sin that we practice. And so while that foundation has been laid, let's go right into my gist for today. And this video might be long, I might have to split it into two, but whatever happens, let's just get right into it. So now let me say something. You can be in something wrong and not know that what you're doing is wrong because it's very normal and it's very accepting in the place that you found yourself because everybody around you is doing it. But you might not really understand that there is a wrong in this thing until you see the light, until you know the truth. And this is why, please, child of God, renew your mind every day. When scriptures was telling us this, he understood why, because the times and seasons of this world. If you went to boarding schools, I think it was everywhere. You would have school fathers, you have school mothers, school sisters, and the likes. So it was a school in Akwa Ibom. So we used to have Nkpo. Nkpo means something in Akwa Ibom. Yeah, in Ibibi rather. Nkpo is something in Ibibi. But in the context to which we used to have Nkpo, my accent might not be right, but if you're Akwa Ibom, please don't come for me. So in the context to which we used to use Nkpo is someone so close to you, yeah, like this is your, for lack of better explanation, your next of kin per se. Like you guys are really close. Sometimes there's emotional, what am I saying? Sometimes there's emotional attachment to this thing because I've seen people tell people that they're not going to be each other's import anymore, and people literally cry. I've been there before, so I'm not attacking anybody. There was a long list. I just don't remember it because it's been a long time. But those are the ones I remember. There was Umpo, there was Flowy, there was Secret Admirer, there was Sal, there was Pal, Personal Admired Lover, there was Mal, Most Admired Lover. Those are the ones I remember. There were some other things. I had this school mother that year. And let me not even lie. There was nothing school mother-ish about that thing. Because I was so emotionally attached. We were both so emotionally attached to each other because we had issues, the way relationship issues used to happen. We had issues, and I remember crying and crying. I cried for a very long time. Because the thing is, I remember that I had many of these things. I won't say all. I had a couple of these things. The way relationships work, where there's financial involvement, when we go on breaks, you come back to school, you buy something for the person that you love. Um, you always take out time to go and visit the person in their corner, take out time to spend time with the person. And we saw it as normal because you are just feeling a space where the person's flowing. You are supposed to be close to the person like that. So back to this my school mother. So we had issues. I think it was somewhat because of somebody else. She had another. I don't even remember what she had, and she didn't tell me about it. As I was somewhat jealous. The way I'll be jealous in a real relationship, and I went in anger and I told her, I don't want to do it again. You went and had somebody else. She did not tell me, and she too she was angry. It shall caused a fight. Mind you, if you have watched my previous videos, expectations versus my reality, I will link that. You know that at this point in my life, because this was around my just two, just three, I was already speaking in tongues. Okay. But you know how I used to substitute reading the scriptures for praying. So I didn't exactly know what the scripture said on these things. Plus, there was not so much information about the whole LGBTQ community as it is rampant now. So I didn't see anything wrong with what I was doing. So at the back of Guardian newspaper, they used to have like these love stories or breakup stories about how women cheat on their husbands or boyfriends and all. So I had read so much. I had been reading this thing from primary school. So I had read so much of these things that in my head I was like, men are scum, and I don't think I want to end up in a relationship with a man. That's not how I put it in that time. I just felt like it would take a lot for me to want to get married. Because I remember that I used to see that, and I remember saying this one time that I will never get married. And my mom was like, God forbid, rebuke this thing that she has said. But because I'd read so much negativities and I didn't want to associate myself, I felt like after my parents' generation, love did not exist anymore. And so now introducing myself into a girl system and I'm seeing like we're somewhat more understanding of each other because we're of the same gender, so you understand what we like, because I mean I'm a girl, I should know what another girl likes. They like human beings are human beings, either male or female. Human beings are human beings. And so I had planned out a whole wedding in my head. I had seen mommy and daddy, they are watching this. I think my mommy knows. I'm sorry, but I'm a changed person now. I had planned out a whole wedding in my head and I was married to a female. And I think this plan in my head, I think it was TLC where I watched a woman marry a woman and I liked the concept. I liked the idea of it. And I wasn't reading my Bible so much, so there's no way I could have known that God did not this was not God's intention for me and this is not God's will and this is not God's standard. And so I wanted to marry a girl. I didn't mind if we're not able to, bring forth children from this, but I just wanted to be happy. And so back to this senior, so jealous. I remember feeling very, very jealous. And as we'll have it, she now became dormitory prefect, my dormitory that I was in, and my room. So like prefects had their own room, and my room was just one long hall where we're up to 50 of us used to sleep in, so we just had like bunks. Somehow, the whole person that was involved with her that made me jealous. Now her bunk and my bunk were now beside each other. So imagine how annoying it was for me. This story is storying. I now just remembered. So she had this. I think the person was this other girl was her sal. Was she has something in one of this list of things, and the senior liked me too. And so the senior went to go and ask this other. So let me give names. Yeah, I obviously can't give their real name, but let me just give names so that we're not all lost in this gist. So this first senior that I was in a thing with, let's call her Senior Kelly. Okay. And then Senior Kelly now has a Sal or a Mal that I do not even know about. Let's call this Senior Miley. Okay. So Senior Miley goes to meet Senior Kelly to tell Senior Kelly that, oh, I heard you had a thing with Manny, or Manny was your school daughter or something. And I kind of like Manny. Would it be okay if I go ahead and tell Manny that, oh, I want Manny to be, I think she asked me to be her school daughter too. I don't remember what she asked me to be, but that was it, sha. Senior Kelly told Senior Miley that, oh, there's nothing between both of us and all. And before then, we're not broken up. Permit me to use that word. We're not broken up. And so Senior Miley went ahead to shoot her shots with me. I'm like, oh, already this position they are asking for is already filled by Senior Kelly. So Senior Miley goes to meet Senior Kelly. You like to me? They had their own fights. Senior Miley comes back to me. She's asking, can she fill another position since somebody else has filled this position? But that coming back to me did not happen immediately. It took a while. Yeah. After the while, Senior Kelly and I are already broken up. And so when she comes to me to ask me, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I really liked her too because she was like quiet and everything. And she was very pretty. She was nice. So I'm like, oh yeah, the position is open. I don't mind. Even though I didn't know you like that, but I can get to know you and everything, and we can like build a relationship from here. I feel like I have a lot of hand gestures, but let's keep track on the story. So your mind was like, oh, she heard that Kelly and I are not together anymore. What happened? And so I'm gisting about the whole thing, and then I start crying, and that's when it hits me that, oh, this really hurts me so much, and I really still liked her too and everything. So Senior Miley sees that I'm hurt. Senior Miley goes and like, oh, don't worry that she's talked to Senior Kelly for me and everything. So she goes and she talks to Senior Kelly. So Senior Kelly, I think it was 2 years later, Senior Kelly, Senior Kelly has started being mean to me. Yeah, she's punishing me unnecessarily. You know how people used to do all the seniors, somehow people. So Senior Kelly calls me to her room after like 2 days, and she was like, "Oh, that she saw me having a conversation with Senior Miley. That what did we talk about?" And I lied. I told her nothing. I just told her that, oh, that she asked me to be her niece, and I said okay, no problem and everything. She was like that, oh, you're lying. This. I mean, I was scared. I thought she was going to punish me again. I mean, I was crying. If you just do me like this, said I crying. So we're like, oh, okay. I now tell her the truth and I tell her what happened. And then we sit down. She like, I sit on her bed. We sit down. We have a conversation about it. We're talking, and she's like, oh, she's sorry. I'm like, me too, I'm sorry. And she starts crying. And me too, I start crying. I think I slept in her room that night. Yeah, I ended up sleeping in her room that night, and then we become close after that. Nothing. There was no title, but we kind of somewhat picked up from where we stopped. Now, don't get me wrong, there was no action in anything that I did. I never did anything, but there was emotional investment in all of these people that I'm talking about. There was emotional investment. Kelly and Senior Miley, they were both in SS3, and we eventually left school before them. Never saw them again. Yeah, I spoke to her once or twice after I left school, but that's how the feeling died. There's nobody cannot get over in this life. And that's how that phase ended. Thank you for watching this far. Because of how long this video is, I decided to cut this video into two. So this is the end of part one. Watch out for part two and continue this gist with me.